Hello everyone, this is Dr. Groovy, Scott Grove from GroovyMusicLessons.com. A buddy of mine asked me, said next time that you get out in the garage and start tinkering with your rack gear, you know, in the 80s we all used, you know, rack mount stuff, and I've still got all that stuff. So said next time you pull out your old Rolls RM65 mixer that you talked about in an old video, please demonstrate that for us. And what I use it for. Okay, this is a nice, cool little 6-channel mixer that is in one space for a rack mount thing. So it's 6 channels. It's got on each channel, which I will bring in and show you shortly. But we have monitor out. We have, you know, monitor return, of course. You have bass, treble, pan, effects sends, effects returns over here. But you got 6 whole channels in that, plus volumes, and you've got, you know, your gains on the back, and you've got XLR on the back. I'll show you all this, and you've got 1/4 inch on the back. You've got right side, left side out, effects returner, effects send, auxiliary, bus in. Then you've got 6 little mini switches in the back here for phantom power for each of the 6 channels. Okay, what good does this do you? Okay, when I was I've had this happen so many times. Had somebody buy a Stratocaster off me on eBay, and it was the very first Strat they ever bought. They have an Epiphone Les Paul, and he sent it back and wanted his money back from the Strat because it wasn't as loud as his Les Paul, so he thought something was wrong with it. Okay, so it's, you know, there's people who are just simply misinformed, and they don't know that, you know, typical single coils, especially stock ones, yeah, it's the way it is. Humbuckers are generally twice as loud as a single coil, unless you go to start hot rodding things. And if you want a true Strat sound, you'll keep it the way it is. Keep it real low output, and it will not have, you know, bring your tube amps to that natural breakup point as quick as a Les Paul or a humbucker guitar will. And a lot of people are bummed out because of that. It's like, don't be bummed, because every one of your guitars, without modifying them, can all be whatever volume or whatever output you want. So if you want a Stratocaster that has more output than your Les Paul, you don't have to go changing pickups. Just run it through the mixer. You know, you have that Strat, you say, I want it to be, when I change guitars, when I go from a Les Paul, and of course I'm just using the common names that people would normally associate with guitars. So you just got done playing your Les Paul, then you go to grab the Strat, but you want it to be just as equally as loud, equally as hard hitting on your tube preamps as the Les Paul was. All you gotta do is turn a knob and it'll be there. Okay, so let's go through how this is done real quick. Again, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to go to a little zoom thing, then I'll hit a couple guitars, those two actually, that Telecaster there and that Les Paul back there, and they're already actually sitting there plugged in, ready to go. I'll show you how I've got this rigged with all my cables, courtesy of South Creek Audio, always appreciate them. Okay, so what we've got here, let me see how far I have to move this up to find anything. Okay, that looks groovy. And then I can zoom from there. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so right now I currently have, here's the Rolls, and it is again the RM65. This one, if I remember correct, got it off of eBay for like $50. Brand new ones are like, I don't know, maybe about $150. They're white on the front now instead of black. So I kind of still like this old one, but they haven't changed anything about them. So might as well spend the $50 and have all this stuff. I currently have, as you can see in the back, okay, I've actually got the Les Paul plugged in right here in channel 1 right here on the end. Okay, then I skip channel 2 because it's directly below here. So here's channel 1 right here with all the stuff. Again, monitor, and you got your bass, treble, pan, and your effects send. So you can even pop in, like I do, a whole bunch of stereo 15 band EQs and get more EQ out of these guitars. So you can EQ all your guitars all you want. Just run a little insert cable in the back and go right into your 15 band EQs to each of the 6 channels. So you run 3 EQs if you're running 6 guitars, because each side will take channel 1 and channel 2. So you can EQ your other guitars the way you want them. So I've got Les Paul in channel 1. I've got the Telly. Like I said, I skipped over channel 2 just because, so I could show you this. So there's channel 1, there's channel 2 not being utilized directly below it. Channel 3 and 4 is when I got the Telly plugged in. You're like, how? I used what is called a loop selector. So right now it is in A, which is channel 3. Then if I step on the foot switch over here, get my hand out of the way, it'll go over to B. Okay, so channel A is in channel 3, A is in channel 3 for the Telecaster. And if I go to hit this, which would normally be on the floor, and went to B, it's in channel 4. So we got 2 different channels that I'm running the Telly in. Why? One, because I've got it set normal on channel 3 for the Telecaster, so it still sounds like a regular Telecaster, low volume, squeaky clean, retains everything that we all love about Telecasters. Number 4 here for the Telecaster, when I run it to B, okay, this is the way the big boys do it, kids, so pay attention. You know, if you want the flexibility like this, okay, if I switch it back to A on the floor, then it's right back to regular Telly. Okay, but actually when I go to B, I've got it set so that the Telly will actually have more output than the Les Paul. Okay, so it's a louder guitar now than the Les Paul because I want it to be. You do however you want. And then if you get like, oh, my Firebird over there, it's kind of right in between the two. And speaking of the Firebird, God rest his soul, Johnny Winter passed away today. So, yeah, we played the same guitar, the 64. Firebird 5. So that was his axe of choice, which was busted many times. Cool, great axe. But it's got the mini humbuckers in its volume, being all 100% original. Its output is right between a Fender and a Gibson stock, pickup. So you can put it in here too and play it and have it be as loud as it normally is, or louder, or more gain to it. You can adjust this gain on the back. Right here on the back, you can see you have your line input where I plug the guitars in. Right here. Get over here where it actually is. Or you can plug microphones in, or you can use this. Again, this was intended for, you can throw vocals and everything to this. If you're just a one-man acoustic show, throw a vocal in here, throw a vocal in here, or throw another, if you've got people coming in to sing with you, plug guitar in, plug an acoustic in down here, do all that stuff, and one rack space, folks. So 6 channels all right there, and you can run your effects through there, your reverbs, your everything, your EQs, and just bring a little 4-space rack and you have everything you need. But for you guitar players, and the reason I'm showing you this, you don't have to sing guitars back because they're not as loud as each other. You just solve the problem, and that is a tool to solve the problem. So I'm panning back out. Again, there's everything back there. There's the gain controls are on the back. So you can actually adjust your input levels back there and even give weak guitars more drive by adjusting on the back how much gain is back there. So, you could drive it to distorting back there if you want, or just start turning up the volumes, which are, I don't know if I even showed you the volumes, which would be typical me. Right here. So there's the volume. They just, let me see which one I'm even focusing in on. They just slide back and forth this way. Okay. So that's channel 5 and 6 over here. So you just turn them up and as high as you want. And channel 6, high as low you want. Again, Les Paul's channel 1. Let me show you it, just so you can see everything. Again, I don't do any major production. Okay, channel 1. And we'll see if I can do this and then let it focus back. You beautiful thing, thank you. And then I mess it up. Okay, so here's where the Les Paul is, right here. nice hot output on it already, so I don't have to turn it up much. And then the output on this thing is just going straight into my amplifier. Okay, it's got the two 12AX7 preamps tubes in there. Okay, again, channel 3 over here and 4 that I have the Telecaster in. You can see channel 3 is not up as high. Channel 4 up is way up, so it's way louder than, of course, the original signal. And then I made it louder here at the bottom than the Les Paul is. So now that Tele, without changing anything other than just plugging it in, I can give it more output. So the guitar is putting out more, so it will actually drive the amp harder than the Les Paul can. Unless I was to do the same thing with the Les Paul and give it more gain. Sometimes people want more of that. So this is a great thing to make that happen. So to show you this, the guitars are plugged in. Here's the Les Paul. Let's see. Let's go turn the Les Paul up. And there. Okay, let's get down here where I can show you. Where is my mixer? It's right here. So here's the Les Paul. Channel 1. Les Paul again. Let's turn the amp up. That's both pickups on and the guitar wide open. Everything. I've got the EQs flat on every channel on the equalizer. I'm sorry, on the mixer. Or the equalizer. So you can change how much treble, how much bass, how much everything is in there, by what's on here. Okay, so you can turn that guitar way up, turn it way down. Okay, if I was to go with the Tele, that's on this top channel here. See if I got it the right one. Right here. Sorry. So it's right here. So there's the Tele really hot. Bring it back down to normal Televille. And if I switch over, okay, so I went over to the B channel, so it's down here now. That's twice as loud as the Les Paul on the Tele. But I can adjust that wherever we want it. Okay, so that's basically it. Nothing else to tell you other than that is a one-space mixer that somebody wanted to see and how it works. Again, here's the Tele in super mode. I just pick up the box, switch it. We're back to regular Tele sound. I can get down here, change the tones, add more high end, really crank that sucker up, add treble, turn the treble down, turn the bass up, just change whatever you want to change. Okay, so there you go. The rolls, ROLLS, RM65, and it says 6x4 mixer, 6x4. And then I'm just using this little Morley. It's just an AB box, just like if you want to switch channels on anything. You can buy them active or passive, it doesn't matter. I just like the battery in there so I can physically see which channel I'm on. So again, nobody has to send guitars back just because, your Tele or your Fender isn't as loud of a guitar. And if you want all that gain or, the control, or like you can tell, any guitar can be any volume, so they can all have the same output. I can go back here, shut that one down, shut that one down. It's nice and quiet. I can talk to you, I can kill that. Real quiet. So again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. I hope you enjoyed the little Rolls mixer. They're amazing for so many things. All you keyboard players, instead of taking up 8 channels on your main board, just submix them all through something like that. You got tone controls, you got volume controls, you got a place for effects to patch through, EQs to patch through, everything. You can go XLR, you can go 1/4 inch, you can do everything and not have to do those little Behringer boards or whatever that don't fit anywhere, but that fits in a rack in one space and it just stays plugged in all the time. Then you got one snake that comes out and plug that into that keyboard, that one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keyboards. It's like So it's a beautiful thing. And once you get something down, you can bring, yeah, it looks like, just be creative with your plugging in and your EQing, and put different effects on different guitars when you go to that high gain tele setting that the Les Paul doesn't have. Or you can make one for it, or you can make the Les Paul split into 3 different things so it's normal Les Paul sound, or you can even bring the gain down on the Les Paul so it's only as, you know, hot of an output as like a Strat, and see what that's like to have less input going into it other than turning down on your guitar. You could do that when you get back to your normal volume with another channel by switching with the foot switch. You could have 3 channel foot switches, go into 3 channels, go to the 3rd channel and have it be the hottest pickups out on the market times 20. I mean, there's no end to how loud or whatever your output can be. So people say, I've got these EMGs and they're the hottest pickups on the market. You've got hotter in that box, people. So you can create any guitar there. So you've got the loudest single coils in the world. All of a sudden you bring out a Strat and you don't change anything, and everybody's after your Les Paul. And it's just, I mean, balls to the wall, you know, nailing the preamp section on that amplifier, and everybody's like, what the hell? He must have it through a real small amp, you know, just wide open or something. It's like, nah, just, these pickups are extremely hot now. The signal is as hot as you want it to be. So very, very useful piece of gear. Everybody should have one if you are incorporating single coil and humbucking pickup guitars. It's just a nice way to even them out if you want to, or to have one guitar, again, like I showed you the tele. That's why I split it into regular volume output and super output for a tele, louder than a Les Paul, just because of that little $50 box that's so genuinely God, it's so late. Yeah, the geniuses that put together their little Rolls box, you know, it's very cool, but it's just a mixer, is all it is. But it's a handy one. It's in the right size unit. Right sized unit. I'm just going to talk myself into a hole again, aren't I? I just did again. It's nice to be able to just talk yourself into one without paying for it. Okay, so anyway, me talking to you, saying grab that if it's a solution for you, because that's a solution to a lot of people's problems when they're using multiple guitars and they really don't want to. And the only reason you're picking, you know, changing pickups and crap is to try to make it louder. You know, stop adjusting your pickups closer to the strings and making the magnetic pull harder on them, making your guitar go out of tune because of such things. Use the right tools for the job. Just bring the volume up there. Okay? So, you guys be groovy. Play loud or play soft or play in the middle. Just play around with the toys. Know what toys are out there. Again, before you go buying, you know, a whole bunch of guitars, you can make one guitar do 6 different things with that thing. You know, just set up different gain structures everywhere. It can be everything. Because, you know, Gibson's doing the coil splits on so many things now. You can get nice, perfect sounding single coil pickups out of one guitar, and you can change it. And they've made it nowadays in 2014 like the traditional Pro 2s, as opposed to the original traditional Pros, where the volume would go down by half when they used to split the pickups. They don't coil tap them, no matter what it says on their site. You know, people just wrongly interchange coil splitting and coil tapping. But when you take a humbucker and you make it into a single coil, you are splitting it. Tapping is a whole different thing, and it's not on those guitars. But when you do go to single coils on your Les Paul and you split them, and it's the other kind where your volume drops, it doesn't have to drop. Just hit the button on your little AB box there I showed you, and it'll be right back up there. Okay, so no mods needed. You don't have to put in any kind of preamp to make that louder, or use different pickups to try to make it, or go to the new pickups they're using and change that wiring because that one works better. You know, whatever works is what works best for you, but this is going to be a big solution for a lot of you. So again, I've talked twice as long as I thought I should have, and that's me. So yell at me later. Again, I'm me, you're you. Go to my website for whatever reason, because none of you ever do. So go over there, hang out. There's actually cool crap there. If you can get past the 3rd grade look of the way I put it together. You guys take care. Bye.